So let's take a moment to get into a comfortable seat. We'll spend just a few minutes in quiet. A nice opportunity every day to just sit quietly. And it helps sometimes to have a little guidance. So if my voice helps, then just close your eyes and let the voice help you still the body, slow the heart, relax the breath. Find a reclined position or a place where your joints are supported and eyes can be closed. And if you can't be far from your family, that's okay. Just tune inward and just let the sound of my voice and this little bit of background music be the center of your attention. And we'll move the attention around. But we'll keep it from the things of your day and the feelings that are challenging you and the struggles that we're all finding. And I promise we won't solve any problems, but we'll be quiet for just a few minutes. And as you lay your body down, don't intentionally relax, just allow it to relax. Like so many things, relaxation can arise when you give it a space. Softness will show up when you're prepared for it and accepting of it. It's like flexibility and openness. It fills the space when you're quiet and you allow it. And with your eyes closed and your body heavy and your joints supported, maybe the thoughts of your life show up, and don't actively send them away. Instead, relax and allow them, these thoughts. Notice them as just thoughts and replace them in your mind with the label thinking in the general category of thought. And then refrain from having an emotional response, disconnecting our emotions from the thoughts that come to us, noticing them as an observer, detached, without judgment, just in pure observation. Recognizing they're just thoughts in the general category of thought. Just thinking. And once refraining from the emotional response, lay yourself open and accepting of the next thought that may come. Sometimes the most challenging ones are sticky and they show back up. But like a toddler, don't give them any attention and they'll find someplace else. Let the thought show up. Label it thinking in the general category of thought. Refrain from an emotional response and lay yourself open. The next thought to come. And it may. Don't seek it out. Be prepared and open for it to arrive. And when it does, welcome it, notice it, and label it thinking in the general category of thought. In your head, thinking. Maybe using the word thinking. Refrain from an emotional response. Be purely an observation without judgment. And then lay yourself open for the next thought to arrive. Allow yourself to become methodical. As the thoughts arrive, label them thinking as you welcome them. Refrain from an emotional response as you purely observe them. And lay yourself open, ready to receive the next thought, not expending energy, trying to send things away, change what is. Unhooking the emotional response from the thoughtful experience. Laying yourself open and rhythmically, methodically, allowing the thought to come in, welcoming it, labeling it, thinking in the general category of thought, refraining from an emotional response, purely observing without judgment, and laying yourself open, not asking or seeking, but allowing any thought to arise. Aware of the nature of thought. Independent of the truth, independent of what's real, and capable of being changed or forgotten or embroidered with time. And knowing the malleability of your thinking, you can easy observe with no judgment, allowing yourself to watch as the next thought arrives. You welcome it because you're open. You label it thinking in the general category of thought because you understand the nature of thoughts. And you unhook your emotional response because you're in pure observation without judgment. And you relax into the openness, aware that you can handle your thoughts, that you're the master of your thoughts. And in these moments, you begin to recognize that you could add to the thoughts that come to you. You could think about a beautiful day, your blessings, the things you're grateful for, an important moment in time, just as welcome as any thought right now. But in the experiment of managing your thinking, you can add to them and not set aside the ones that bring you warmth and solace, and instead allow them to come forward, filling the space. You can feel deeply loved and let that thought fill you up. And as a backdrop, when the things of your day that are challenging you come, you're rhythmic, methodical, detached, unemotional self observes that, allows it, releases you from an emotional response, and stays open. You're wise and generous, and those are thoughts that can fill you up and lead the way, so that when the thoughts of your day that are challenging you arrive, you label them thinking in the general category of thought. Release yourself from an emotional response. Purely observe and lay yourself open. Rhythmically managing your thinking by being present to it, open, not being drawn in or hooked by an emotional response, but recognizing the nature of thinking. Manamaya Kosha, thinking, the response to our external world. These are things that we give language to, attach emotion to. And right now, we lay ourselves open and purely observe, recognizing that we can manage and generate, that we have agency in our thinking, not in the changing what's happening in the world or changing what's happening around us. Some of those things are independent of thought. They're like lighthouses, fixed, and we work around them. But thinking, we can manage. So we allow ourselves to be open, detached, without judgment. As the thoughts arrive, we label them, release ourselves from an emotional response, and stay open. Now gently beginning to add some movement, landing back into your body. And with your eyes closed, rolling to your right side, holding yourself there, the master of your mind. And when you're ready, press yourself up into a comfortable seat. And we'll seal our practice. Eyes are closed. Center of the chest is lifted. Crown of the head rises. And keep the softness in your emotional response. Keep the judgment at bay. Recognize the capacity you have to manage your thinking, to create it, to embroider it, to leave it behind, to learn from it, but not be owned by it. On an inhale, take hands high, palms touch above the head, and open the fingertips in a gesture of openness. And closing hands, draw thumb knuckles to heart center. Thank you for sharing your practice with me tonight in 15 minutes of quiet. I appreciate your being here, and I appreciate your taking the time to be still. Thank you so much. Sleep well. Namaste.